adult onset diabetes, as well as many other diseases. The American Diabetes Association will tell you there is no cure for adult onset diabetes, which simply means there is no drug that will cure the disease. And yet, adult onset diabetes is easily and quickly cured with a change in diet and lifestyle.
I don't really believe there are any intelligent people in the scientific community that have any doubt that type 2 diabetes is caused by the rich Western diet. I think everybody agrees with that. But what they don't do is they don't take the next step, which is to say, okay, this is the cause of it, so what you ought to do is you ought to change your diet.
They come in and get on this program, and in 24 hours, they have cut their insulin by half. On day number 5 or 6, they don't need insulin at all, ever again. Now that, when you hear about it, I know sometimes you may hear things like this and you think, that's impossible. How could that be true? The doctor says this is incurable. You can't reverse it. It is not true. You can completely heal diabetes, and very, very quickly.
In most cases, 5 to 7 days. We have a few cases that are particularly severe. It might take 2 weeks.
We find in 5 to 7 days someone with type 2 diabetes, if they eat a 100% plant-based diet, they're no longer on insulin. I haven't seen that not happen.
So yes, the emphasis on treatment by the American Diabetic Association, by the American Heart Association, by the National Osteoporosis Foundation, and so on, they're all in the wrong direction. But they have a lot of big industry money that keeps them focused in that bad direction too. This didn't just happen by circumstance, by happenstance. This happened because there is an active flow of money that keeps them in the direction of drugs and not in the direction of good diet.
You know, I have people coming with lupus and multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's and chronic fatigue syndrome and schizophrenia and obesity and diabetes and arthritis and osteoporosis and on and on. People with multiple sclerosis. I mean, some of them have even gone blind from these things, and we have reversed blindness from it. I've had people with MS that were debilitated. I mean, not to even be able to get up and walk on their own. Completely healed. Parkinson's patients coming in on day 1, shaking so dramatically that they couldn't even hold their hand out to shake it. By day 10, steady as a rock. Lupus. People come in wheelchairs sometimes. I mean, literally cannot raise their arm enough to feed themselves. And within 10 days, they're up and out of that wheelchair and walking. You know, AIDS and HIV. I've got so many testimonies now. I had one gentleman come. His viral load for AIDS was over 103,000 when he started my program. In 3 months, his viral load had dropped to 3,030. In 9 months, they could not detect the virus in his body, and his T cells had gone all the way back up. So we hear all the time that AIDS is incurable. Well, if it's incurable, then how is it disappearing from the body?
If you're like many Americans, you might be thinking, but animal foods have nutrients I've been told I can't live without. Please enter the fantasy land of the animal food industries. In order to keep their profits healthy, some monumental myths have been cooked up about animal foods. If you worry about not getting enough protein, or if you think that milk builds strong bones, you've been brainwashed, and your eating habits have been programmed by advertisements. Both protein and calcium requirements are stupendously easy to meet. In the case of protein, you could eat nothing but potatoes and get adequate amounts of protein. In other words, you'd practically have to be starving not to get enough protein. Protein deficiency is extremely rare, except in areas of the world where people actually are starving. It's really pathetic. We're the fattest nation on the planet, we eat like horses, and we worry about something that will only happen if we're starving. Instead of your first nutrition